So apparently the US has controlled inflation and it's back down to 3%, and the S&P 500 as a result went crazy. However, me personally, regretfully, did back out of the S&P 500 a bit too soon. So what does that leave my Freetrade portfolio with, where I decided to go with something else instead of the S&P 500? So this is my general investment account, and as you can see at this point in time, the value is £11,046.38, and over the past month you can see I've had quite a roller coaster of emotions and also value, where it went all the way down to 10,600-ish and then back up to 11,333 and then back down. And in this video I'm going to be explaining why this is and go through all my holdings. So first of all, I still have Intel at only 0.1 shares, and that is down by 44%. Intel over the past month has been doing not so great, and it makes me wonder about the longevity of this company, where Intel used to be at the forefront of technologies, but I'm not sure what's happening now. So in my portfolio it's down by 44%. That is a loss of only £2.22, so I'm not too upset about that. Analysts are kind of torn about this company, with 66% saying nothing and only 17% being favorable, and at the highest target based on these analysts, which take it with a bucket of salt, could go up to $45. Next I have CSN, and I have 1.7 shares in that, and that is down by a big 40%. Over the past month, as you can see, not much overall movement, with a lot of volatility seen day by day. CSN does pay a dividend yield, and I was last paid 16 pence, 12 pence and 15 pence in May, whatever that adds up to. They pay a massive dividend yield of 17%, but again, that could be cut, so don't invest in this company just for the dividends. 22% of analysts are favorable, with 64% being neutral and 14% being unfavorable, and currently there are no analyst price targets, although I would have taken that with a grain of salt anyway. Gap is down by 34%, and over the past month you can see there has been quite a substantial amount of volatility. They do pay a nice dividend yield of 6.49%, and I was last paid 13 pence in April. 11% favorable, 68% neutral and 21% unfavorable based on the Freetrade analysts. Again, I have no idea who they are. $18 maybe on the highest amount, and that is almost double from what it is now. As you can see, during the pandemic, Gap was valued at a colossal $36, so it's gone a lot down since then, but over the past month it's still gone down by 4.28%. Next I have Xinhuan Real Estate, and honestly I'm not too sure what's happening with that. That is down in my portfolio by £93 or 89%. As you can see, they don't pay a dividend, and I did buy into this company for the dividend, and I bought this company all the way back in 2021. Since then they have changed their names and they have kind of shuffled the stock price, because I think they've concentrated or diluted the shares, so it's kind of, so my history of actually buying this has gone. But I bought this in early 2021, and of course now it's down by 89%. So definitely do not buy companies just for the dividend or thinking that you can make money off them in the short term without doing your research. Next I have Kindral, however you want to say it, and over the past month that has dropped by 1%. So that's a 24-cent decrease in its share price. I have 1.7 shares in that, and because this was a free stock, it's not going to tell you how much it has changed in my portfolio. They do not pay a dividend currently, but analysts are not unfavorable anyway, and they say that it could go up to 22%. When it was first issued back in 2021, it was worth $28. Next, I have Saturno Alcalfa Global Focused ETF, and over the past month, that's gone down by 3%. Overall, in my portfolio, it's down by 10%, which is not too bad, and that is a loss of £6.83. They do not currently pay a dividend, and back in 2021, they were worth around £6.60. Next I have Clover Health. So this is the worst performing company in my portfolio so far that I'm going to show you. That is down by a huge 93% in dollars or 92% in pounds. That is a loss of £829, and I've gotten so used to seeing these losses, but that is a pretty substantial loss. As you can see, no dividend, nothing, and analysts are unfavorable for this. They say that at the highest it could go up to $3. So just for fun, I will tell you that I bought it at $14.60, so I don't think I would ever get my money back on this, and eventually I am going to probably have to sell it at a loss or something, because otherwise it's probably going to just become bankrupt. Next I have the Vanguard ESG Global Fund, and I have 19 shares of that, and that is down by 2.7%, giving me a loss of £2.03. As you can see, I was last paid in 28th of June by 43 pence, which, because I don't hold that many shares, is not going to be a huge amount. And with ETFs, you do not actually get analyst rating. So next I have CrowdStrike, and over the past month, it has gone down by 3% with a lot of volatility. But as we can see, there is a trend emerging, and possibly due to the whole America situation and the tech company situation, we might see this company go back to near its heyday. We can see that during the pandemic, this company was hugely overvalued at around $300. They do not pay a dividend yield, and I did receive this as a free share. However, analysts are very favorable for this company, thinking that it might go up to $235, and I will obviously be holding this and looking forward to getting back to that so I can finally sell this free share. Next I have Aston Martin, and this is another company which I hugely regret investing into, if you even call that investing. In my portfolio, it is down by 84%, so that's a £709 loss. And over the past month, you can see it hit a high in around the 26th-ish of June. That would have been a 20% month-on-month increase, but then it kind of went downhill again. They do not pay a dividend yield, and analysts are kind of torn between this company, thinking that the highest it possibly might go up to is £4. And again, just for fun, I'll show you that I bought it at £20 per share, which is honestly just so stupid how much it has dropped. And at its peak, it was around £43. It's honestly really funny hearing about Aston Martin. Next I have AGM Holdings, and that is another company that was causing me a lot of pain because it is down by £748, so that's a negative 83%. They do not pay a dividend yield, and there's no analyst ratings on them, but I don't know about AGM Holdings. I'm not sure why I invested into them. Back in 2018, they were valued around $41. So last time I bought AGM Holdings was at $11, and I'm not sure if it will ever reach that again, and it will probably be going bankrupt if I'm being honest to myself. Next, again, a big loss, Cognite Software, and you can see over the past month they have gained 6%, but in my portfolio overall they are down by 79% in pounds, 80% in dollars. As you can see, nowadays the pound and dollar loss are more and more similar as the pound becomes stronger against the dollar, and the dollar kind of slowly devalues because of the whole interest rate environments. People know that the Feds aren't going to keep increasing the interest rates, and the whole strength of the US dollar does come down with that. So as you can see, analysts are kind of favorable for Cognite Software and saying it might go up to $6, but as a joke, I bought it for $28. So honestly, there is a lot of loss in this Freetrade portfolio, and all these companies were bought back in 2021 for my defense, and I started this channel at the end of 2022, having more than a year's worth of knowledge of knowing that you really do have to look into diversification. You really do have to look into companies' financial history and financial projections in order to be safe about what you're investing in, and even then you could possibly lose money. Remember, with investing, your capital is always at risk, and all these companies with big losses are only companies that I bought back in 2021 and I kept in my portfolio. So same with Fastly, a 70% loss. That's a £626 loss. If you add up all these losses, they're somewhere around £8,000, which I could do with another £8,000. Again, analysts are only saying the highest that they possibly think it could go is $26. Well, technically it can go higher than that, but $26 is the reasonable upper bound, and I bought Fastly back at $61 a share, which I do not think it's going to go back up to that much. Again, when I did buy these, I had no idea about the stock market or the kind of interest rate environment or anything like that, or how the consumer price index was, how the fear and greed index was, none of that. So honestly, I do deserve some of my losses, but I do make this free trade portfolio update every month so you can see that, you know, I am human at the end of the day, and the allure of buying into stocks during the pandemic was so high, and a lot of people did get shortchanged as a result of that. But I want to show you that long-term investing is really the only viable way to build your wealth. Next I have Alba Mineral, and over the past month, as you can see, it went up really high and then it went all the way back down. So it actually did a 60% increase. Probably should have sold it then really, but that is in my portfolio down by 57%. And during that period of time where it went up, I'm sure that loss would have been a lot less. So I have 345,000 shares in that, and maybe one day it will pay off, maybe one day it won't. But in any case, I do have many shares of this, and I am at a pretty substantial loss. So Alibaba, I have 6 shares in that, and over the past month it actually has been doing pretty well, and in my portfolio it is down by a still substantial 56%, so that's a £550 loss, and honestly I could do with that money too. I would probably invest it all into the FTSE 250. So analysts are pretty favorable for Alibaba, so it's not the worst company that I have my money in, but I do think that it would hit over 100 soon, so I'm not too worried about that. Corsair is a company that I do kind of regret investing in, and that is down 2% this month. And in my portfolio, that is down by 43%. So that's a £427 loss. No dividends, but analysts aren't too unhappy about that, thinking it could go up to $21. I bought Corsair £1,000 worth for $32.83 a share. And again, I do kind of regret it. And I do hope that Corsair will be going back to its all-time high, and I'm going to be just selling out of that. So next I have Shoals. I have 33 shares in that, and over the past month it has increased very slightly. In my portfolio it is down by 26% in pounds, so that's a £240 loss. I'm not too worried about Shoals, so even the analysts aren't too worried. They're quite favorable, thinking it might go up to $42. I bought it at $36, so I'm not too unhappy about that. Next, Metro Bank, and over the past month it has actually increased by over 10% since this dip. So as you can see, -11 to +1, that's around a 12% increase. In my portfolio it is only down by 8%, which is a £68 loss, and I'm not too worried about Metro at all, even though the analysts are saying unfavorable. I do think I'm going to get my money back with Metro, but I'm not going to keep investing after that. I have Baidu, and in Baidu I have 6.66 shares. Very devilish of me. That is up by 0.61%, but since its dip here, it's up by 10%. In my portfolio that is down by 15%, so it's a £135 loss, which is still significant, but compared to everything else we've seen today, not too bad. Analysts are very favorable again, 89%. No price targets, but if I were to guess, and I am guessing because I have a triggered value at $180, I actually want to exit at $180, so if it reaches $180, I'm going to be taking my money out. So lastly, my biggest holding, and that is in the FTSE 250, and I have 224 shares in that. So as you can see from my portfolio, all the ones that I had in individual stocks are bought all in 2021, and since then no more individual stocks. Since then I developed a strategy of only investing in ETFs and kind of trying to time the volatility of ETFs. Previously in many of my videos I used the GSPX, which I thought back then was going to be a great strategy until, you know, the interest rates actually acclimatized. I was completely right about that. If I had stayed into that, I would have made a lot of money. But again, I'm willing to take the risk on all the gambles that I take, and I do not recommend that you do it. But I think I am completely priced out of the GSPX now. I think I sold out of the GSPX at £7.16, and currently it is £7.70. So definitely priced out for that for now. But anyway, I think the FTSE 250 is the place where I would put all my money. As you can see, a huge amount of volatility over the past 3 months, over the past month even. Great place to, in my opinion, dollar cost average, and of course as an ETF it is very well diversified, and when the UK economy goes back to normal, I do think we're going to be making back all our input into that. So currently my shares are worth £6,415, and that is a loss still of £260, so that is a negative 3.9%. Over the past month it was even worse, so as you can see the FTSE 250 dropped around 6 to 7% on the 26th of June, and you can also see on the 28th of June I received a dividend of £81. So in addition to its dividend yield, which currently is 5%, in my opinion, I also do think we're going to see the capital gains in the next 2 years too. So I think it's a great place to park my money. If we go into the Insight tab, as you can see, my portfolio performance compared to the rest of the market, which is the FTSE All World ETF, which is the total stock market if I am not mistaken. You can see over the past month I have been doing a lot worse, so that's a negative 2% compared to that. In the past 4 months, however, I have been beating the market because of my strategy of buying and selling the GSPX, of course. But overall, in the maximum time period that I've had this portfolio, in particular my general investment account, I am down 7% because of course, investing in very stupid companies. So now I want to show you my Freetrade ISA, and as you can see, the current balance is £50,819, and at its lowest it dropped all the way down to £48,000. That is compared to a high in June of £52,000. So as you can see, there's been a huge amount of volatility in my account, and it's not really nice to see every single day, so I don't really bother with the numbers. But as you can see, over the past month, again, a huge amount of volatility, and over the past few days it has kind of returned back. So every time I do a video, for some reason, it kind of always starts to recover. Sometimes I do really want to show you what my portfolio looks like when it really does get hammered by the stock market. So my ISA was created after 2021, after I had bought those stupid stocks in my general investment account, and I promised myself I would never just invest into random companies. So my ISA is a whole lot leaner, and I'm going to go through the holdings. So I know I just said that, but I have 2,400 shares in Alba Mineral, and that is down by 52%, very stupid. stupid, but I thought, you know what, let's have a bit of fun. And I only really put in around £6, so that's not too bad at all. Mast Energy, I put in again a very small amount, and that is down by 83%, so that's £50. And over the past month, it has increased by 25%, which is pretty good. Amazon, I have a very small amount in Amazon, and that is up by 48%, so that's really, really good. Rolls-Royce is up by 113%. Over the past month, it has decreased quite a bit. I'm not sure how long I'm going to be holding Rolls-Royce in this account. I might as well sell it just for simplicity's sake, but again, it's not really hurting me at a current value of £30 anyway. Aston Martin, I bought the same amount of shares that I had in my general investment account just for fun, and as you can see, that is up by 109%, giving me a yield of £80. Again, I'm just really only holding this for fun, just to laugh at myself of how much I've lost in my general investment account with Aston Martin. So Disney is doing very poorly. I have 3 shares in that. That is giving me a negative return of £112, so that's a 35% decrease. But again, I'm not too worried about Disney for the long term. I'm pretty sure that they'll be surviving for the long term, so not too worried about that. So by far my biggest holding is in the FTSE 250. I have a whopping 1,759 shares in that, and as you can see, after I bought it, it went all the way crashing down, and currently it is down by £2,052. And as you can see, at one point it was all the way down at £27.55, and my holdings in the FTSE 250 was down around £5,000, which is really hard to see as an investor, but I've completely detached myself from the numbers, especially because the FTSE 250 is well diversified. I'm pretty sure that it's not going to be too much of a worry in the long term. As you can see, I did receive a very nice tasty dividend of £641, which kind of actually soothed some of my wounds with the FTSE 250. In terms of not buying into the GSPX, I kind of do regret it, but at the same time I do find it very exciting to go into new investments, and now I'm kind of set for the FTSE 250 for the foreseeable future. If I go into my Insight tab, you can see in the past month, because of my change in strategy, I am down for the first time in my ISA 2.64% compared to the FTSE All-World ETF. As you can see, even if I compare the last 3 months, including the massive losses I've had now, I have beaten the market by 3%. And if I go into the total maximum, you can see that I have beaten the market by 39.61%. So overall, in my ISA, I'm still very happy because I am up by £10,819. This ISA is actually 2 years maxed out ISA contributions for Freetrade. No more am I going to be putting my money into Freetrade. I think 2 years maximum per provider is a good way to look at it. When the FTSE 250 does recover, I'm going to be seeing even bigger returns on my ISA, and because I can't deposit any more money into my ISA, I can't really dollar cost average into the FTSE 250. So make sure to check out some of my other videos, and I will see you in the next video.